Javelina men's basketball fans, welcome back to episode 8 of the Javelina men's basketball show. My name is Landin. I'm alongside Coach Johnny Estelle. The Javelinas are coming off an impressive come-from-behind victory over Texas A&M International this past weekend. So, Coach, thank you for taking time out of your day to join me. What are the things that stood out to you the most in that impressive come-from-behind performance?
It was after a 2-week period off, which sometimes when you're playing pretty good, the worst thing you want is time off. But I was a little weary going into the game. You know, it was right after graduation, which was Friday. Congratulations.
Thank you, sir.
And it was an emotional day for a lot of different reasons. But, you know, with the practice times being changed and our schedule kind of being off through finals and things like that, I was always concerned about, you know, getting on the bus and going down and playing an opponent, especially an opponent of international's abilities. But we didn't play very good early, which is kind of what I expected. And then the second half, we responded. And the people that kind of spurred us to that, their leadership really was very, very pleasing to see.
And as far as your team, you've seen a lot of bench production of strength in numbers, which I like to always call. I always look at the Warriors, see what they mimic. And as our team, we've seen Creighton Avery, Rashawn Thomas, we've seen Mouton. Those guys off the bench provide an instant spark. How does that help your team, knowing you have guys that are coming off the bench that are helping your team?
Well, I mean, it lets you know how invested they are in and it's very important to have guys like that. You know, guys like Wellington Stovall, who came in and gave us very good minutes. You know, I think I failed to mention that in the post-game interview, but you know, Wellington has done that numerous times this year, coming in and just giving us energy and giving us a spark, and helping us win games. You know, he's a very team-oriented guy, just like those guys you mentioned. But you know, if you're going to win a championship, you need those guys. Everybody has to do their part. And in today's world, everybody wants to be the guy on the side of the building, you know. But even in the NBA, you look, there's 12 guys on the roster, and they probably got 1 or 2 guys on the side of the building. So that means everybody else is in a supportive role. But if they don't do their job, there's no way you're going to win a championship. So we don't look at who's our best player. We always say who's our most consistent that night. Everybody's held to the same standard, but everybody have to embrace the culture and understanding that they have true meaning and value to our team, and those guys do it night in and night out.
And moving forward, I mean, this Thursday and Saturday will finally be at the spec for conference games against UTPB and Western New Mexico. How do you go 5-0 in conference going into the new year?
You have to go 4-0 first. I mean that you got to win the first game. And I'm not trying to be funny, but being honest, we've got to put all our energies, efforts into playing against a very good UTPB team. They've been doing very well this year. I believe they're about 8-2. They got some really good, talented players. Coach Newman and I go back in our JUCO days when he was an assistant at McLennan and I was an assistant at Navarro. So we've known each other for about 20-something years or 19 years, and he's a really good coach and runs a good program. So we got him at home. You know, it's kind of a weird time to be playing because not all the students are gone. So our community has to come in and do their part. I mean, you know, our parents do a great job of packing the gym, but we really need our community to come forward. The local kids, the churches, community leaders, community groups, when Lions Club, whatever, Kiwanis Club, we need you all. You know, Chamber of Commerce. It's a hall call. I don't even think we're charging for the game to get in. So it's a good entertainment. I think they will get a chance to come and watch a good group of young men that are representing this community and school in a positive way, and also help us propel ourselves to victory.
And changing the course as we enter this holiday season, is there anything that you are thankful for the most, like things that are very dear to your heart that?
You know, that's a great question. I'm thankful for everything in my life, you know, Andres. God's been good to me, you know. As I watched my daughter walk across the stage twice, you know, matter of fact, you was a part of that select group with the honors graduate. And she's done something that I didn't get to do, you know. I probably could have done it, but I didn't. And she's achieved that. And as she walks across that stage and they calling her name in that 10-second walk of fame, I thought about all the loved ones that are not with us or wasn't with us that day that helped pave the way. She's lost her great-grandmother, who it was just a rock and the matriarch of our family. We lost my father. We lost her her other grandfather. And, you know, we lost my sister. And I had a picture made, Jackie, my other daughter, picture, a collage with all 4 of them, and said that how proud that they were of her, even though that they wasn't there, and that she'll always be in their hearts. And I wanted to kind of utilize that for her to propel her on to greatness. And that's what I kind of tell our guys every day, that there's a lot of people that sacrifice for them to be there, to be here, excuse me. And there's an opportunity that's for them that a lot of people don't get. And it's way bigger than themselves. And you never get anywhere by yourself. So I want them to understand that their journey is way bigger than basketball. God's been good to them, no matter how good or bad they think they have it at times. Be grateful for what you have. Honor and respect all those that God put in your life, and you know, make good of the gifts He's giving you. So you asked me a question that man, it's not a one sentence or 2 sentence answer for me, because I'm very blessed to be here, and I'm thankful to be with guys like you and these guys here and the people I work with, and side by side every day. And I just want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas, and tell everybody that, you know, love your loved ones, embrace them every day, and man, enjoy the times that God gives you.
So, Coach, good luck to you this weekend against UTPB in Western New Mexico.
Hey, thank you, sir.
Yes, sir. Javelina men's basketball fans, welcome back to episode 8 of the Javelina men's basketball show. I'm alongside Creighton Avery. Creighton is a transfer from McLennan Community College. He graduated high school down the street at West Doso High School. So, Creighton, welcome to the show. It's a pleasure. And Creighton, as for you and your team, y'all seen some recent success, and as a floor general, you see everything. What's been the biggest key behind that success?
I think we've just been executing a lot better than like at the beginning of the season, and just taking advantage of the practice time we've had and polishing the things that we weren't doing so well like weeks before.
And as far as like coming off the bench, knowing that your role as a point guard, you have to run the offense, you have to run the show, knowing that you have someone in the backcourt with you like Rashawn Thomas, who's been going for massive numbers lately, how beneficial is that for you?
I think that just makes my job a lot easier, knowing that I have someone that is a knockdown shooter or can score at will. So like me knowing that, okay, if I get the ball to him at the right spot, like he's gonna, you know, score.
And as far as this team, and you've seen us get better lately. We were on a 2-game losing streak, but now we're on a 5-game winning streak. How do we build off that success?
I think, like Coach Estelle always says in practice, like we just have to keep coming in with the chip on our shoulder and not letting the success that we're having right now get to us, and then just keep preparing to win championships.
And I like to conclude every segment with one of my players with a fun fact. I mean, we know you probably have some things that are on your mind. What is the fun fact about you that you think Javelina Nation should know?
Fun fact is my mom played here as well. When she
Did she win some championships?
I don't know. You're going to have to ask her about that. I don't know if they won any championships.
Sounds good. So maybe you could join that Javelina success, maybe with a championship at the end of this season, right?
Yeah, for sure.
All right, Javelina Nation, Creighton Avery, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Good luck to you this weekend. Javelina men's basketball fans, welcome to episode 8. I'm along a special guest, SID Mark Inserra. Mark, welcome to the show. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me, Andres.
Yes, sir. And Mark, so I mean, we've seen you grow in your tenure here at Kingsville. You've done a great job on every area. I try to always listen to football, softball, baseball, basketball, whatever, because you're someone who I admire, someone who I maybe want to be like one of these days. How did you get here to Kingsville?
A lot of hard work. Yeah, just a lot of hard work, trying to get as much experience, trying to learn as much, get better. Went to college in New York for 4 years, got a sports communication degree, did an internship, and had a full-time job for a couple of years in minor league baseball. Got my first job in college athletics back in 2016, and spent a year at a school in Tennessee, a Division II school named by the name of Carson Newman University. And those were experiences that kind of let me hone my craft and get better at a lot of things, and put me in a position to get an opportunity like this to be an SID and the #1 play-by-play broadcaster here in Kingsville. A lot of hard work, a lot of time spent just trying to get better over the course of those years.
And whenever you're prepping for your games, like game notes, getting ready to talk in front of the camera, how do you go about that day-to-day operation? What's the biggest thing you look to improve on from game to game?
I'm always just trying to make sure that I can try and provide the audience that's watching or that's listening with information that makes their listening or their viewing experience more enjoyable, more interesting facts about the players, about the teams, about how the squads have done, the way that they've played in the lead up to those games. We mentioned interviews. I'm always trying to find interesting things to ask, find good questions to ask the coaches about, find questions that I think the people watching are going to want to know the answers to. So I'm always trying to do a little bit better as far as making sure that the people who are watching are going to find out things that they'd be interested in.
And switching the subject, going into the Javelina men's basketball team, since we're on the Javelina men's basketball show, how successful do you think this team could be in this newly revamped Lone Star Conference?
I mean, I always judge that based on the things that I hear from the coaching staff, the things that I hear from the players, and from people like you, because you guys are obviously around these players a lot more than I am. You guys are in the locker room. You see them every day in practice. For the coaches, I mean, they've seen these kids before they were here, when they were recruiting them to come here. If they have confidence in the athletes that they have on their team, then I think that gets me excited about the things that the team can achieve. And just talking to people like you and people like Coach Estelle and Coach Gonzalez and the people who are on this team every day, they really seem to have a lot of confidence in the athletes, and they seem to have a lot of confidence in themselves. And being around this team, seeing them play on a daily basis and seeing how hard they play and kind of how much they play for each other, how badly they want to win, I think seeing those things gives you confidence. I feel like I'm using that word a lot. Puts you in a position where you believe in their ability to achieve their goals, starting with things like conference championships and opportunities to play in the postseason. And just seeing that on a daily basis, I think it leads me to believe that this team has a lot of potential, that it could really be an exciting year for Javelina basketball fans.
And whenever you watch this team, what is the #1 thing that stands out to you the most?
I think just how badly these guys want to win, not just for themselves, but for their teammates. How hard these guys play for each other. For the fact that and the unselfishness on this team, I think really is something special, because I think you and I have talked about this as far as the way Coach Estelle handles his personnel. You don't see a lot of guys out there for 15 or 20-minute shifts. They're out there for 3 or 4 or 5 minutes. Their job is to play as hard as they can, and then they're going to come out and get a rest, because Coach Estelle believes in the guys who he has on the bench or the guys who he has available to come in and play a similar role and to do just as good of a job. And I think the fact that you have a group of athletes who are willing to come into a system where they know that there are going to be other guys vying for the same role, where they know that they're not going to be out there for 40 minutes a game, and maybe they might have less of a chance to rack up 20, 25 points a game, but they're willing to buy into that system because they feel it gives them the best opportunity to win. I think when you have a group of athletes that are unselfish and that are willing to accept roles, because I think everybody wants to be the all-conference guy averaging 25 points a game, but the guys who are content in a system that allows them to play, guys who are content in a system where they know that their role is going to be a little bit less than maybe it would be in an ideal world, finding guys who are willing to accept that and willing to buy in and willing to put this team in the best position to succeed. Boy, this is a really long-winded answer. But guys who are willing to accept that, I think, makes a recipe for a team that has a chance to be really successful. I think the unselfishness is really special.
I can tell how excited you are for this season, though.
Either that, or I just can't come up with a really succinct way to say what I want. One of those two things.
Well, you've mentioned the hard work, unselfishness, and how great this team looks together when their chemistry. It looks like our chemistry is building up, which is great. I mean, luckily we're on this 5-game win streak. Hopefully we get rolling. And why do you think Javelina Nation should be excited for this Thursday and Saturday to watch this team finally at the spec after a long time? It seems like we've been off.
I mean, it's the start of the home conference schedule. I don't think you really need any more reason to be excited than that. This team has played 3 conference games. They've all been on the road. These are the first 2 conference games at home, and it starts off against a really good UT Permian Basin team that has really had an outstanding start to the season offensively. There's going to be that'll be a challenge for every team in the Lone Star Conference, I think, over the course of this season. I think if you're a Javelina fan, you're really excited to see how the Hogs are going to do against these 2 conference opponents in this team's kind of first opportunity to show itself off in conference play at home. I think that really is all you need to say. Hey, they have 2 good opponents coming in for 2 conference games, an opportunity to put themselves in a much better position as the season goes on.
Mark, thank you for taking time out of your day to join me on the Javelina Men's Basketball Show.
Oh, my pleasure, Andres.
Thank you. Javelina Men's Basketball fans, welcome back to episode 8 of the Javelina Men's Basketball Show. I'm alongside John Mouton. John is a JUCO transfer from Temple College, and he's entering his second season with the Javelinas. So Mouton, welcome to the show.
Thank
so
you.
Mouton, as you've gone into your second season in Coach Estelle's system, how has your role changed?
I have more of a voice this year, you know, with me, Chauncey, Rashawn, Daniel all coming back, having important roles. All of our roles increased this year. So we just bringing the new guys, you know, meshing us together because we know what Coach Estelle wants already. So, like, we bringing them in and what we know already, and we just, like, meshing it all together and making it all one thing.
And as far as entering your second season in the system, you've seen guys like Robert Stevenson, Jacoby Harris, who were big-time leaders on this team last season. How did their mentorship help you into the person you become today on this team?
Well, the biggest thing, I'll say one thing Cole really showed me every day was how to practice every day. Cole really went out every day and led by example, and really showed me how to practice every day and like what it looked like to be a professional. So I learned a lot from that.
That's awesome. And as far as like going into this season, you've seen your role expand like we've mentioned. You've seen the leadership increase up a notch. How has that helped this team in this 5-game winning streak that we're in?
I say some games we have bad starts, and I refuse to let everybody just I refuse to let us lose. So.
And whenever that's happening, whenever the team goes through a deficit or we find ourselves in a hole early in the game, how do you respond from that, coming off the bench, knowing that, hey, we need a spark and I can make that play? What's your mindset going into those positions?
Well, just bringing energy and fire, just finding anything that can spark the whole team. Like making one play can like change the mood of the whole team, and that can change the outcome of a game quick.
And if you look at the stats, you look at your rebounding, which has been pretty sensational coming from a guard, coming out of his area to go above and beyond the rim to get the ball. What's your mindset whenever you're going and trying to get all those rebounds to help secure the possession for your team?
Well, I just know whoever has the most possessions really wins the game because that's more opportunity to score. So the more possessions, the more opportunity to put points on the board. Team at the end of the game with the most points win.
And as I'd like to conclude all the segments with these players, we always talk about a fun fact. What is a fun fact that you think Javelina Nation should know about you?
Fun fact, I'm the team cook.
What do you cook?
Cajun pasta with shrimp, sausage, and chicken.
Is it better than Chili's?
Definitely. Way better than Chili's.
And how do people get some of that?
Just come by 527, you know.
All right, Javelina Nation, John Mouton, good luck to you this weekend against UTPB in Western New Mexico.
Appreciate it.
Javelina men's basketball fans, that'll conclude episode 8 of the Javelina men's basketball show. My name is Andres Landin. I'd like to say thank you to my guests, Coach Johnny Estelle, Creighton Avery, John Mouton, and SID Mark Inserra for taking time out of the day to answer a few questions. The Javelinas will be back for Lone Star Conference action in the Stanky Physical Education Center this Thursday and Saturday against UTPB in Western New Mexico. On behalf of the Javelina men's basketball team, we look forward to seeing you then. Go Havs.